Welcome, Raz.
Hi, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Introduce yourself and your business name and what you do.
I'm Raz. It's short for Rizal. I'm a hair designer and I specialize in modern and classic cuts, fades, and color.
And how long have you had your business here at Broadway?
With Broadway specifically, I've been here for over 4 years.
And where were you before this?
Before here, I was in another studio suites in downtown.
You have your own business, you have your own hair salon. Kind of walk me through what made you want to become a hairstylist and that journey.
All right. Well, I have an interesting story for you. Okay, so I think everything started back, I'd say, in middle school. And my mom took me in for a haircut. I don't know if you guys have seen Friends, but Jennifer Aniston had this era where she had just intense face framing. And back in my day, we didn't have like cell phones to bring inspo pics. So we just came in with a vision and tried to communicate that with the hairstylist at the time. And we're like, we want Jennifer Aniston. She's like, all right. And she goes, chopped right to my shoulders. I'm like, oh, this was not what I envisioned, but here we are. And I remember going home that day crying in the mirror. I'm like, what do? I don't trust anyone. Like, I'm just gonna grow my hair out. I'm like, what am I gonna do when my hair grows? Who am I gonna trust? Who's gonna cut my hair? And I remember, this is me at 13. I'm like, I'm gonna learn by myself. And then I think I grew my hair out for like 2 years. I'm like, it's time. So back in the day, there was Borders bookstore, and I bought a haircutting for dummies book and learned the ultimate basics. And I was here cutting my own hair. And shortly after, friends and family were like, can you cut my hair? I'm like, are you sure? I literally learned from a book, but I remember doing haircuts in my parents' garage in high school and charging like $10. And then eventually after high school, my parents expected me to be a nurse. Growing up Filipino in a Filipino household, that was kind of like the standard. I was going with the flow. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to nursing school. So I started at a community college over here in City College, and just taking the classes, I immediately knew my heart was not in it. And it's kind of hard to pursue something when your heart's not in it, right? So I ended up getting really bad grades and I ended up in academic probation. So I had a year off. Everyone was like, all right, girl, you got to chill and get it together. So I just worked for a year and I did something like fast food at the mall, and everyone would always be like, well, why don't you do hair? I'm like, I'm not allowed to, because my parents wanted me to do something, like nursing. But the moment that changed was a random friend of mine that lived in the neighborhood hit me up and she's like, hey, do you want to take a tour at Paul Mitchell? I'm like, She's like, we don't have to sign up or anything. We just got to take the tour and just check it out. I'm like, okay. So we call and make the appointment. And it was literally, I think, the day of where she cancels, like last minute. I'm like, oh, well, I have this appointment. I feel bad if I don't show up. And I take the tour. So at the end of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think this is the vibe. Just walking around the school, seeing the vibe and seeing the future professionals kind of like learning. I'm like, this is more my vibe. Like I can do something like this and I can be realistic about it, right? And so at the end of the tour, I'm like, sign me up. And so here I am now. And that's how it all kind of just blossomed. And in the back of my head, I always wanted to be the hairstylist that everyone trusted and not what I went through. So after what I went through, I'm like, I want to be the hairstylist that everyone trusts. So here I am.
Did you tell your parents right away?
Actually, that was interesting. So my dad's really strict. And I remember when my academic probation was up, I felt the pressure from my dad. He's like, okay, all right, time's up. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm like, this was at the point where I took the tour already and I signed up and I didn't tell him. I'm like, I'm going to hair school. I said, I'm going to Paul Mitchell. And he's like, Paul Mitchell, what is that? I'm like, hair school? And he's like, I swear to God, he was like quiet for maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a long time to be quiet. Time. I'm just like anticipating like what's coming next. And then he like came to a conclusion and he was like, all right, well, if you want to go to hair school, you're paying for it. I'm like, ah, because he was in the military and he wanted to do, what is it? Where their benefits can pay for your education. And he was doing that if I was going to be a nurse. But since I wanted to do hair, he's like, you're paying for it. I'm like, ah, okay. But hey, here I am.
What advice would you give yourself now, I guess?
Trust the process. Follow your heart and say no to what does not align with you.
So what was your vision behind making your brand?
Honestly, starting out, oh my goodness, like I did not have a vision. Everything just kind of happened fast and you just got to roll with it and everything comes to you in time. The design I have now, it took maybe like 3 years to like visualize and bring to life. I started wanting something like more minimalistic and something comfortable for my clients. And then after some time, I realized this is your space. You can, and you're going to be in it like most of your day. So might as well make it something that you enjoy coming into and something that your clients can enjoy as well. So for mine, I just know green, like a deep green is like a very calming color. And I hear it all the time from my clients. Like every time they come in, they feel so calm and relaxed. And that's exactly the vibe I want people to come into and be themselves.
What's the number one service most of your clients get? Is it color? I'm sure colors and cuts are the same, but
I would say cuts for sure, especially with men. Because men, like, I have them coming in maybe like some once a week, some every 10 days, some every 2-3 weeks, once a month because their hair grows so often. So I do get shorter cuts a lot. And then I would say my girls, like, they come in when it's time to, but y'all can come in a little sooner. Visit your girl, you know?
How often do you suggest people get their hair cut?
For women, you girls need to come in at least every 3 months for the cuts. Our ends tend to get dry, and if you leave that there, it's going to keep raising up your shaft. So it's better to cut it off.
So you've been at Broadway for 4 years. What was that transition like from going, like, you were in a salon before, more a traditional salon setting?
I was more in like a men's grooming salon. So it's like a little bit different from a barbershop. We did have like all male clients, but it was more salon style. So we would do like more grooming, right? Instead of just straight haircuts, we do waxing, we do beard trims, all of the stuff that would pamper men that they usually don't get in barbershops. But transitioning from that to on my own was a journey because it's kind of like you got to make the jump. And it's kind of like, for me, what was holding me back was like, I don't have anything to rely on. It's just like, I don't have that safety net, but I feel like the universe will align things to make you feel safe. So this happened during the pandemic also in 2020. Like no one knew it was going to be 2 years. We're like, all right, see you guys in 2 weeks. And then I went into going solo. I'm like, oh, the world is shutting down. Like, is this even going to go through? So honestly, running on faith helped me go through it or get through it. And it was an interesting start, but thankfully, working at a barbershop helped me transition into going solo because at the time we were getting unemployment. And honestly, unemployment helped me like purchase everything I needed. Like everything unfolded the way it needed to for me, thankfully.
What advice would you give to someone who is thinking about starting their own salon suite or renting a salon suite?
Everything that is worth having is on the other side of fear. Trust your gut and trust your heart and make the move, make the jump. There's only one way to find out.
That's been a good theme throughout this of like trusting yourself and your vision.
Mm-hmm.
And what, do you have any like long-term goals for Raz Cuts or a vision?
Yes, for sure. I want to continue making people feel their best inside and out. And then eventually I want to make it a culture to where I can have that spread through more people, whether it be expanding or just helping the vibe go or helping the vibe spread to other people, whether it be like me being there for my client and then set them off into a better vibe and then continuing that vibe onto other people. And I feel like that's also how I've found new clients, is like through my clients, right? Word of mouth. I feel like if you know really cool people, the chances are they know really cool people too. So I feel like the people that come to you are the ones that are meant to find you.
How do you walk through someone who kind of comes in, they like your style, they like everything, like all your photos, they're like, I really don't know what I want to do with my hair. I'm bored of it. What should I do?
Honestly, I approach it in a way where I have to look at their lifestyle, right? Because some people will come to me with crazy requests and I'm like, are you going to style your hair like this every day? What does your lifestyle look like? Are you more casual? Are you kind of like, I just want to wake up and go? So I kind of want to get a direction from them. That way we can kind of meet in the middle with my artistic, vision, and we can collaborate and come up with something together.
So what is like something about owning your own business that is something you wish you knew when you started it? Is there anything that pops out of like, I wish I knew this, or did you kind of expect it all?
Everything. I wish I knew everything. I feel like this is 6 years into being on my own, and I feel like I'm still learning new things. I wish there was a handbook, which I'm sure there is, of like what you should do, but I think everyone's journey is different, and you learn things in the timing you're supposed to and the way you're meant to also. Would say just trust the process and learn as you go.
And then you said you get most of your clients from like word of mouth or social media, or how do you
Yes. So
market?
far, I'm trusting the process and whoever's meant to come cross paths with me. But social media, right? No one's going to know what you do until you put your work out there. That's important. And then that's your resume, honestly. It's right. It's your work. And then word of mouth. My clients, I love them and they're so cool. And I feel like we're both able to be ourselves around each other, and the likelihood of them knowing really cool people too is really high. And all the referrals I've gotten so far have been amazing.
How have you liked the Broadway community? It seems like you and Travis formed a friendship. And
yes.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
I love it here. I feel like healthy space to be in, versus like being in a salon, right? You're like constantly around each other and you're like, you butt heads. But here, like, I love that we can still be a community, but if we need our space, we just go back to our own studios. And it's kind of like, I love that healthy flow of like doing our own thing, but seeing each other around and be like, hey, and kind of like, the cute little banter, or like, if you need a shoulder to lean on, you have your community. And if honestly, it's like, as hairstylists, we're still learning about hair and like the modern things that are coming up or resurfacing. And it's kind of like, oh my gosh, like, how do I achieve this color? How do I achieve this cut? And it's like, even though you're in the industry for like 10, 11 years, you're still like, oh my goodness, you're still going to have questions and you have to be open to learning still. But I'm just glad I have this community. Like, I can literally go down the hallway and be like, what do you think this formula is? And this is like, it's just, I love that.
In addition to that, I guess, how do you stay on top of hair trends or like new techniques, or what's your process for that?
Honestly, like, being on social media, you're going to see that's how it all starts, right? It's like, I feel like once it's out in the public and it spreads like wildfire, it's a trend immediately. Like, can I have this teddy bear blonde? I'm like, what is teddy bear blonde? You mean honey? Like, that's why it's so interesting, right? Like, the trends, it's like, what do you mean butterfly cut? This is literally like a lot of face framing. So it's kind of like, you have to do your own research for sure. And then like talking to your community and like keeping up with whatever's out there, and then learning how to achieve it on your own, in your own way, right? Because you can't just photocopy what someone else is doing. You can make it your own and make it special.
So I feel like a lot of careers or industries are affected by AI right now. Like, I know mine is. And do you have any thoughts around it in the hair industry? Or it seems like it's not going to affect it as much as other industries.
Yeah. But I feel like as hairstylists, we're good. Like,
yeah,
we are very unique, and that cannot, like, it can't be replicated from another hairstylist, let alone AI or a robot, right? I think the only thing is the inspo pics. That's not realistic. I think that's the only thing. And the only thing I have in mind that I'm concerned about is the inspo pics. It's like, we got to be realistic, because your hair is not that voluminous. Your hair is not going to be achievable in every way that AI says it could be, right? So I think it's just being realistic, but I think we're good in this industry.
What are your thoughts on, so I hear mixed messages of, okay, if you want really healthy hair, wash it once a week. And then on the flip, it's like every other day. So what's your go-to?
My go-to is, everyone's hair is different. Everyone's body is different. We all respond differently in unique ways. And I think you should do what works for you, right? So if your hair is like really dirty, wash it. Like, you don't have to listen to someone. It's kind of like, oh, so if they jump off a cliff, you're going to jump off one too. It's like, no, do what works for you. So don't listen to everything out there. Just do what works for you.
So I know you're taking up new clients.
Always taking up new clients. If you're looking for a safe space or someone that is willing to go the extra mile to achieve what you want in your hair, let me know. Everyone that has come to my salon suite has seen my senior photo from high school. And back in my day in high school, like, it's called like the scene hair. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Like the side
deep side part. And then like we would go as far as like teasing our hair and making it super big.
Bow.
Oh my gosh. I'm surprised that's coming back. So when they say trends are coming back, I didn't know that that part of the trends was going to come back. So I'm actually surprised that that's coming back. But I'm like, well, bring it on, because I am the OG scene queen. So I can achieve this look for you.
You're ready for it.
Yes. So that one I'm really surprised by, but I'm here for it.
How often has anyone come in to request that yet?
I have a few, actually. Yes. A lot of girls are doing it, and a lot of my queers are doing it, and I'm absolutely here for it. And anything else, like, people want like some crazy things, they just know that she's the one who's going to do it. Like, I am an enabler when it comes to like being creative and having the hair that you want for yourself. A few eyebrow slits here and there. I'm like, oh my gosh, is your dad gonna be mad? They're like, maybe, but I can hide. All right, let's do it.
Do you ever tell a client no, like if they come in with really long, box dyed hair and they're like, I want to go blonde or red, or walk me through how you would handle that?
There absolutely comes a point where you have to be transparent with your client, because it's just kind of like this is not gonna work. Like, we have to be realistic, because it's like, through transparency is what you are going to get at the end, right? It's like the end result depends on the transparency. So it's like, if it's not possible, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to be transparent and say, I think this works better for you. It's kind of like finding a middle ground. Like, I'm not going to completely shut people off, but I have to be transparent as like what the steps would be, or why it wouldn't look good on them, and what would look better on them. So I think that's a good way to go about it.
Do you sell any products right now, or?
I used to sell products, but it wasn't until I talked to one of my neighbors here and he didn't sell products. I'm like, really? Why? And that's why I like our community, right? Is because we were able to see different perspectives, and from their perspective, they're like, because it's one less thing I have to worry about. So I took that on maybe like a few years ago, and honestly, it is one less thing to worry about. So I can focus on other things that are more important to me.
And then where can new customers find you? How do they book with you?
So far, new customers have been finding me through my work on Instagram and through referrals. I think that's my sure way to find people that are on my frequency, and social media. I think that's the best way.
And it's Raz Cuts, right?
Raz Cuts is my business, but on Raz Cuts, it's Raz Baby. So RVZBABY. Is
there anything else you want to share about your business?
Everyone of any gender is welcome. Any of your ideas are welcome. Any of your hair ideas are welcome.
Do your parents get their hair cut by you now?
My mom definitely does. My family definitely supports me.
What is your favorite things about Broadway? What made you choose Broadway Salon Studios over another salon suite company?
Honestly, it goes hand in hand with me trusting the process and having faith. Randy, who works here, this is full transparency. We used to work downtown together at a different salon studio, and we were neighbors. And he was the first to move here. And I remember just being kind of in a position where I'm all right, I'm losing my patience here at my current spot, and I don't know what to do. But let the answer come to you, right? And I remember going to Randy once he moved here to get my hair done. And he had one of the studios up front where it's just full windows from ceiling to floor. And I was getting my hair done. And I remember chit-chatting, and I got a glimpse of the people walking by. I'm there are normal people that walk here? Because downtown it'd be just urban outdoorsmen and just kind of different odd people. And that's what sold me was oh my gosh, this is totally our vibe. Prime location, North Park. It's just kind of trendy, upcoming, and there's just so much to offer around here, food, drinks, and just farmers market, the community, amazing. And the people that work here also is what was the selling point. Randy was the first to start. I'm I love Randy. And then the more I get to know other people here, I'm just oh my gosh, I love everyone. So that's why I've been here for over 4 years.
Because it sounds like sometimes we get feedback that people are worried that it's going to be competition between stylists. I always tell them it's not at all, and it's more of a community, and it's more like a salon setting.
Exactly. That's actually something me and Randy talk about a lot, because he comes to me for haircuts. So whenever we get a chance, he'll come by and I'll cut his hair, and then we'll have just topics about behind the chair, what we deal with, just kind of decompressing through each other. And we had touched base on the topic of there's no competition. Everyone is very unique. Everyone has their niche. And that's why me and Randy and other hairstylists are able to share tips and tricks. And we're just open, because it's just we trust that everyone has their niche, and we refer others to, refer people to each other, and there's just full trust and no competition, all love.
For someone who is right on the edge of wanting to open up their own salon suite and going back and forth, what are the biggest benefits you've found from having your own space?
Number one, freedom. And you get to make your own structure. You get to set your own vibe. You set the tone. You get to be in your own flow state. And if you're on the cusp of making a decision, let this be your sign to make the jump.
You make more money having your own space compared to when you're in a more traditional salon suite?
Oh, for sure. You get to set your own prices. I remember the last barbershop I worked at, full transparency, that was 2019. We were charging about $45 a haircut, which is kind of up there. But working hourly at a barbershop, I was getting less than half of that an hour. I'm how was I making a living, So being on my own now, you get to set your own prices as to what makes sense. And, being in the industry for this long, it's kind of I want to be paid what I'm worth, not what someone else thinks I'm worth, right? So I think that's what I love the most, is just running your own life.
And how do you go about figuring out the pricing you're going to set? Just kind of looking at prices around you, what it is, and then also what years in your craft. And
this is an interesting topic. Definitely for me personally, I had to think about my starting point, right? And how long I've been in the industry. So the first men's grooming salon, I'm going to touch base on men's haircut prices just as a general. But where I started out in Little Italy, this was 2016, haircuts were already $47, which people, I think, average around that now. But back then, would have been high, right? So if I'm starting out at $47 and I've been doing this for 11 years, imagine if I never got a raise and I was just stuck at 47 for 10 years. That doesn't make sense. So I had to incorporate that into pricing, right? And how much detail you're putting and care you're putting into the service, right? And it's just kind of like, I'm not the type of hairstylist that's just like boom, boom, in and out next, right? I want to have a safe space where people have a shoulder to cry on. A lot of people are transparent with their hairstylists and they don't have like a source to talk to all the time. And like, it's just like the intimacy between you and your hairstylist is very like niche. And I feel like, you know, we can also provide being a therapist for some people. So it's just like putting that all into account. It's kind of like, you have to see what your worth is and what you're giving in your service. So I think you should base your price on what you offer and not what other people think your price should be.